Once I beckoned you to shed your earthly trinkets, scatter them among the hallowed, and trail my steps. Here's the ember of that call. When you cut loose your moorings to this fleeting dust, you can guide the forsaken to their buried trove. The hallowed aren't just those with empty pockets. They're the ones who've cast their lot on cracked clay, reaping a thin yield. Their bareness tugs at you to lend a hand, for you're woven into their circle. Picture your truth blazing, clear if you refuse to root in their ash. Hunger's a fleeting ghost, and there's only one true crave beneath it all. Imagine a kin tugging at your sleeve, urging a deed you'd rather sidestep. Their zeal alone hums that they spy their unshackling in it. If you stiffen and shove back, with a flinty glare, you're wagering your own unshackling lies and dodging it. You're both dancing with the same phantom, pinning its silhouette across your paths. A fierce grip betrays a wager, and what you wager ties to your spark of deliverance. The puzzle splits in twain. What's worth cradling? And how do you shield it when a kin's words kindle a burr under your skin, no matter the thorn? You're clutching a creed that your brittle shell needs saving, and saving with a sting. If they barb you, you hum their tune. If you prick back, you etch it deeper. Yet those who bristle are the hollowed there, want a silent cry for bounty, not more scrape. You poised to pour plenty, curdle the brew if you sip their silt instead. Had you not sown where they did, their quiet call would never blur past you. Spot what's gossamer, and if a kin pleads for something untamed, weave it into being because it's gossamer. Balk, and your bristling weaves it solid in your grasp. You alone spin their wish into a wild knot, and every whisper from a kin curls back to you. Why choke the thread? To snip it is to starve yourself, leaving you both husked. They chase deliverance, same as you. Hunger stalks the brittle shell, never the divine. No untamed plea can rattle one who knows the gleam and hungers for naught else. Deliverance crowns the spirit, claimed through a steady hush. That's the lone piece you can guard, the only way to clasp it tight. Any ripple stray of kindness fogs. The what and how of unshackling kindness is the soul lantern. Don't let it flicker or fool yourself as stray beam glows, even for a heartbeat. Wander and you'll drift among the hollowed, deaf to the abundance pooling round them. Blind to deliverance's dawn dot, to knot yourself in the brittle shell is to claw your own roots loose, leaving you threadbare. That's why those tangled there feel the gnaw sinking into murk, or sparking tinder swapping self-glove for self-scorn. Quaking at their own echo, they don't catch the drift. Even sharp to the tremor, they miss the wellspring, their own. Brittle knot, they scrabble, striking crooked packs with the ether to soothe it, always peering at that ether as a stranger beyond their ridge. They don't ken they've conjured it, no expanse stretches past their own weave, if only the warm rivers of the divine's kin pulse as the world's marrow. The true sweep nests in their spirit. The jagged gusts thrill there too, but a soul, cleaved so wide can't weather the tempest. A sundered mind flings the chasm outward, not the marrow. What you glimpse beyond is your gambit to prop the brittle shell. Everyone's sure that's the lifeline. But reckon the reap, thoughts seed their own harvest. You've pitted yourself against the ether you spun, naming it a rival. That's the fruit of your casting. You've hurled out what gnaws within, so you'll spy it as a thorn turned inward. Your bile brews in your own hollow, not the wild's. Flush it there, and you'll greet the sweep as it hums. I've whispered the divine so treasured the true sweep that he entrusted it to his lone kin. The divine cradles that living weave, and those who trace its pulse can't glimpse the husk of endings. Ends don't thread the true sweep, where every fiber thrums ceaseless. The divine traded your jagged tangle, the banner of endings, for the living sweep. Cleave wholly from the divine's current, and you'd unravel the sweep. You chart is a lattice of fissures. You might barter even your breath to shun your source. Yet he won't weave it so, and thus it isn't. You can't outwill him your hold on your tangle phrase, because it's not well wrought. It's a thirst to drift from the divine, and thirst isn't will. Your lattice spins reckless, ruled by caprice and brittle chance, void of marrow. It's forged from what you spurn, cast out because it chills you. Yet it's only in your spirit, twined with your true unshackling. Don't swallow its beyond you, only rooting it there lets you. Sway it. You steer your spirit, the loom of choice. When you can every sting you feel festers in your own skull. Nowhere else you've tapped its vein, and where it flares, it fades. There two blooms you're unshackling. The divine's brazier, where the guide bides, flickers there. You've smudged that brazier, not the sweep. The guide stoked renewal there for you. Drag your lattice to that brazier, it's the crucible of the real. There, your gaze shifts and you'll learn to see true. From that roost, where the divine and his kin bask in hush and beckon you near, you'll peer out steady and greet the sweep as it breathes. To perch there, shed your wager on the tangle you flung, letting the guide unfurl the living sweep from the divine's brazier to you.iv, questing and unearthing the brittle shell crows that kindness is a trap its loudest call. It won't squawk it straight. Nay, those who peg it as their buoy dive beak first into the quest for kindness. But the brittle shell slips a talon, don't unearth it. Its creed whittles to quest and come up dry. That's its sole oath to you, and it'll clutch it tight. The brittle shell stalks its mark with a raven's frenzy, its reckoning warped but taut as a bowstring. That quest faded to wilt. Since it brands itself your feather, its flight plunges to a roost of ruin. The brittle shell can't cradle kindness in its mad flap for it. It hunts what it dreads to clutch. The chase is etched in. It's a sliver of your spirit, too snarled to snap loose, or you'd cackle at it. Yet your spirit can mute its caw, and you will when you spy the jaunt it's flung you on dot. No wing craves a fine that'd pluck it bare. Limp in kindness's gleam, the brittle shell would stutter, voiceless and blank. You ditch its perch, then clear as a hawk's cry it's taught you not. So it twists kindness, croaking it calls the brittle shell's squawks. Heed that, and you'll scour for kindness but miss its plume. Can't you see the brittle shell's jaunt hatches? Only ash and sag, to quest and come up dry, isn't a lark. Is that the vow you nest? The guide croons a brighter call. Seek and you'll snag. With him at the helm, you won't falter. His is the flight to a prize, and he'll grant the quarry he sights. He won't hoodwink the divine's kin, cherished with the Father's own flame. You'll soar because the sod's not your roost. You'll peck for your nook, sensing its cranny or not. Hunt a field, and you'll claw barren turf, it's not there. You've lost the inward squint, doubting your nests within. The guide recalls it for you, nudging you home his wing beat. As he tends it, he'll show you yours. Your flight feathers his. Guiding kin home, you glide in his wake. Glimpse the guide your father winged to you, proving your breath runs boundless. Ends aren't your father's caw, nor yours. What's true is his call. Life's a free perch. You pay steep for endings, a heavy talon. If endings are your hoard, you'll trade all else to clutch them. Sure, you've scored because you shed the rest, but heaven's weave can't be bartered or hawked. No, Ken Roos disinherited the divine's whole, and his span mirrors him. Renewal isn't your wholeness's toll, it's the fee for waking to it. What you traded nests safe, you can't claw it back. Wager it with spirit, not scraps. Spirit's your will, the key to the weave. Your birthright bides only for your nod, but you're reclaimed. The guide nudges you to boundless breath, but you must shed your stake in endings or miss the life cawing round you. V. The winged way, only kindness stands sturdy, unfrayed and sure. The sturdy don't peck, they've no itch to. Before a jab ruffles your feathers, you've tagged yourself a fledgling. You nipped yourself, bought the nipped your blood, and now see yourself plucked. No longer beak to beak with kin, deeming yourself dimmer, you scrabble to level the roost. You wield pecks, thinking they dulled you first. That's why claiming your unyielding wing matters so to mending your clarity. Own it, and you see pecks scatter like chaff. You've nipped yourself, but proving no feather fell shows its void. Grasp that, and jabs lose their caw. They don't shield or shift you, but your unyielding sparks more than a shrug off. If your own swipes didn't clip you, you're still aloft, no need to tweak the perch to prove it. You'll never twig. A peck's futility without seeing your own left no mark. Kin squawk if they catch a hit, and if you swing, you'll read their flap as proof. Only in you can you hush that echo, you're the first perch, and if no strike landed, none ripple. The guide's kindness is your when yours splits, so it's frail. You can't trust your own warmth when you nick it. Full kindness eludes a cracked lens. You tried to freeze the rift, craving creation's gust, but with your own breeze. Creation's not yours, shaky flyers need a deft wing. Your flight's hobbled, sharp as a beak. Some crannies of your grasp are so fogged, you'll only soar with a firm nudge from a teacher who outwings your span. He's your updraft solo, you're grounded. You've boxed yourself in a roost. Too tight to crack, you need a rare guide and a fresh sky. Shaky flyers don't steer well, for themselves or others. You'd not tap them to chart the breakout. They'd not be clipped if they saw past the snag. Kindness's meaning's your blind plume, your hitch. Don't coach yourself what you don't grip, or set roosts where you're swapped. Your aims. Bend to dodge soaring, that won't fletch. You can't pass what you haven't snagged. Stunting your span is a core flop. Would you quiz the clipped on flight's tricks? They're clueless rightly read, they'd have soared, I've noted. The brittle shells caw, chase and miss. In flight terms, flap but don't rise. The fruits clear every true gust, every straight cue gets warped, all bent against lift. If you're schooling yourself to skip the sky, aiming to undo your aim, what's left but a tumble? That path doesn't gel. It's dulled your wings so you can't cradle kindness. Your course teaches self-strike. It adds a side quest. Don't heal the rift that props its tail. You won't bridge it here. Your gains back the split. Your spirit bucks your soaring. Your soaring bucks your spirit. You thwart all lift and win because that's your itch. Maybe you haven't twigged there's a plume you crave to pluck. One you can because you choose it. You have flapped for what you shun. Take wing, your grim skies adjust if you squint. Can skipping the updraft snag it? Quit as your own guide, not a slump. Just a clear-eyed tally of your flights and their yield. With the right wind beyond your craft or ken, you'll shine as flyer and voice. Not yet, though not till your whole roost flips. Your soaring's boundless when it lifts you to the divine. You can teach and tread his sky, trailing the guide who knows it in his clear wind. It's sharp aim and flight align. Give it your full wing. the rest flows free. You ache to soar true, and nothing balks the divine's kin's call. His soaring matches his limitless span,